That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I would say there's certainly there'll be some people who disagree with me on this, but my what I think is if you're playing a song and it says G major 7, either it says that because you're in a style where major 7 chords are fairly common, or it says that because something in the melody is probably going to be touching on a major 7, if not just straight up sitting on a major 7, meaning that you don't have it, meaning there's not an option and there's not a stylistic uh, inhibition as to why it shouldn't be why it should be more than just a G triad, if that makes sense. Um, and what I see there is that the G major 7, there's no room for play. It's a major 7 chord, and that means the major 7 is a chord tone. However, some people will say G major 7 is a chord tone no matter what, and that it doesn't become a scale tone until you've passed the octave, meaning the 9, the 11, and the 13. But the reason I say that sometimes the major 7 can be a scale tone, to the ear at least, maybe not according to function, but according to tonality, it has all of the connotation that a scale tone has at times. If a song is not stylistically so elaborate, like jazz is like there's always a 7 going on somewhere. It seems like it's rare that there isn't. Now, if you're playing a country song, it's rare that there is. And so if it says a G chord and you're just living in the realm of the triad, chord after chord after chord is all triads, then your major 7 chords are going to be more tense over a G triad. Just because I think it depends on the context. I don't want to call this an opinion because I think of it as I think of it as being correct to say that it doesn't always sound like a chord tone. Sometimes it sounds like a scale tone, and that either way, if it sounds like a chord tone or scale tone, it's good. It's just going to have a different effect. It'll be more tense if it sounds like a scale tone, and it's already a tense chord tone to begin with. So it's really up in the, it's really on the wire. Yeah. Uh, kind of. It's close. It's close to that. However, a lot of times if you look in a book, it'll say G9, or sorry, G major 9, let's say. So we know that it has a major triad. We know that it has a major, or it has a 7, a regular 7, major 7. And we know it has a 9. Now, according to the book, it says G major 9. I would not say, I don't think it's quite accurate to say that the 9 is a chord tone, although I'm open to changing my mind on that. To me, what that is that when they say it's got a 9 in it, they're trying to help you out in terms of how they're giving you a suggestion. Just to give you another example, in All of Me, which we looked at before, when it goes to the end of the A section to the beginning of the B section, it's G7 to C6. Now, what a lot of times they'll say G7 sharp 5, which would be from the altered scale, like this, to C major, or C major 7. Cool. But if you ask where they're getting the sharp 5 from, they're getting it from the altered scale, which means you didn't have to do G 7 sharp 5. You could have done a flat 9 to your C major, or a sharp 9, or you could have done a flat 5, or you could do a flat 9 as a low note, which would be a diminished chord. Instead of this, you'd be playing this to C major, which means you could do any of those diminished chords, which would be a third inversion major 7. That's why it sounds so tense. Or the next one. Or you could do a sharp 9 as the low note, but that would be pretty intense. Sound like well, I'll do it with a sharp 5 and a sharp 9. That sounds really nice. Into the C. I would be tempted to do this up to here, which is a little too tense for most people because it's third inversion, meaning the 7 is being played as the low note. Now, what would clear this up a lot is if the bass player played the root, a couple octaves lower than this, is going to be underneath this way low, and it'll make this note sound colorful and less like it's trying to be king of the mountain, because the bass saying, no, this is the king of the mountain here, king of the hill or whatever. But again, also I would shy away from saying you need the bass to do it, because some people have a taste for tension, and the reason they do is because they have a taste for resolution as well. And you might even say it's more likely the opposite way around. People who have a stronger need for resolution in the universe, for justice, they have a firmer conviction that justice exists and that it should and that it can and that kind of thing. Those type of people, in my opinion, or I should say it seems logical to me that those type of people would create more resolution in their art, and prefer more resolution when they hear it. But how are you going to really have resolution without... Exactly. So the greater the tension, the greater the resolution. And so, anyway, just food for thought. Very well, not very well put, but just something to think about. Anyways, guys, before we split, do you have any questions at all?